What if tomorrow the entire world suddenly stopped all commercial fishing? No fishing boats leaving ports, no more tuna, salmon, shrimp, or cod on dinner tables anywhere on the planet. Sounds like an environmentalist's dream, but what would actually happen to our oceans and our civilization? Today, global marine capture fisheries produce around 80 to 85 million tons of fish per year. According to the United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization, FAO, about 35% of the world's fish stocks are overfished, 57% are fully fished, and only 7% are underfished. FAO, Sophia, 2022. If we stopped fishing tomorrow, the immediate effect would be a massive economic shock. The industry supports over 60 million people directly and hundreds of millions indirectly. Coastal communities in countries like Indonesia, Peru, China, India, and Vietnam would face severe unemployment and social crisis. However, from an ecological point of view, the oceans might begin one of the most remarkable recoveries in human history. Many scientists believe that stopping industrial fishing could allow fish populations to rebound dramatically within 5 to 10 years. A famous study published in Science, 2003, by Myers and Warren showed that predatory fish populations had declined by up to 90% in the last 50 years due to overfishing.
Let's look at the current state of our oceans. The United Nations estimates that around 90% of the world's large predatory fish, such as tuna, sharks, and swordfish, have already been caught. In some regions, like the North Atlantic and the Mediterranean, certain species have declined by more than 95%. If we stopped all fishing tomorrow, the oceans would begin a remarkable recovery. Research from the University of California and other institutions shows that many fish stocks could return to 70 to 90% of their original levels within 10 to 20 years once fishing pressure is removed. This recovery would be about more than just numbers. The return of large predators would help restore balance in the marine ecosystem. They would control populations of smaller fish, which in turn affects plankton levels and even helps the ocean absorb more carbon dioxide. However, there would be serious short-term problems. Many developing countries rely on fish for up to 50% of their animal protein. A sudden stop in fishing could cause food insecurity in regions such as West Africa and Southeast Asia.
One of the most fascinating aspects of stopping all fishing would be the transformation of marine ecosystems. Without the constant pressure of industrial fleets, the ocean would begin to heal in ways we haven't seen in centuries. The return of large predators, sharks, tuna, swordfish, and other big fish, would trigger a powerful trophic cascade. These apex predators would control the populations of mid-level fish, which in turn would reduce overgrazing on smaller species and plankton. This chain reaction could restore balance across entire food webs. Studies of marine protected areas have already shown promising results. In fully protected zones, fish biomass can increase by 300 to 400% or more within 5 to 10 years. Coral reefs become healthier as herbivorous fish control algae growth. Seagrass meadows and kelp forests also recover, providing important habitats and carbon storage. A healthier ocean could even play a bigger role in fighting climate change. Healthy marine ecosystems absorb more carbon dioxide through the biological carbon pump. The return of whales and large fish helps mix nutrients, which boosts plankton growth, one of the planet's most important carbon sinks. However, recovery would not be instant or uniform. Some species recover quickly, while others, especially long-lived, slow-reproducing animals like certain sharks, sea turtles, and deep-sea fish, could take decades. Illegal, unreported, and Economically, a sudden global stop of all commercial fishing would be devastating in the short term. The seafood industry is worth over $400 billion annually and employs tens of millions of people directly.
entire coastal economies, from small fishing villages to large processing plants, would face collapse. Countries heavily dependent on fisheries, such as Norway, Iceland, Peru, Thailand, Vietnam, and Indonesia, would suffer major economic shocks. Millions of jobs would disappear almost overnight, leading to unemployment, poverty, and social instability in many regions. At the same time, the demand for farmed fish, aquaculture, would skyrocket. Today, aquaculture already supplies about 50% of the seafood consumed worldwide. A complete ban on wild catch would put enormous pressure on fish farms, which come with their own environmental problems: water pollution, high demand for fish meal, disease outbreaks, and habitat destruction. In the long term, however, a recovered ocean could support sustainable fishing at much higher levels than today. Many scientists argue that well-managed fisheries in a healthy ecosystem could actually produce more fish than our current overexploited system. The key question becomes, how do we balance immediate economic pain with long-term ecological and economic gain?
Nature is dying faster than we realize, but it's not too late. O42 restores forests, cleans waters, and revives our planet. Join us, subscribe and like. Together, we create the future.
The ethical and cultural dimension of stopping all fishing cannot be ignored. For millions of people around the world, fishing is not just a job, it is a way of life, a cultural tradition passed down through generations, and an important part of identity for many coastal and indigenous communities. Small-scale fishers and traditional communities in Asia, Africa, and the Pacific have relied on the ocean for thousands of years. A sudden global ban would raise serious questions about fairness, cultural rights, and the right to food sovereignty. While a complete and immediate stop to all fishing is unlikely and perhaps unrealistic in the short term, many scientists and environmental organizations advocate for a more balanced approach, creating large networks of fully protected marine reserves covering 30 to 50% of the ocean, while allowing carefully managed, science-based fishing in the remaining areas. This strategy, often called 30 by 30 or half Earth for the ocean, aims to protect biodiversity while still providing sustainable seafood for humanity. Evidence from existing marine protected areas shows that such zones can increase fish catches in adjacent waters through spillover effects. The real challenge is finding the right balance between immediate human needs and the long-term health of the ocean that supports all of us.
So, could we really stop all fishing overnight? In reality, probably not. A complete and immediate global ban is extremely difficult to implement and could cause severe short-term humanitarian problems. But this thought experiment is incredibly valuable. It clearly shows us that our current way of fishing is not sustainable. We have pushed many marine ecosystems to the brink, and continuing on this path risks collapsing the very resource we depend on. The ocean has an astonishing capacity to repair itself if we give it enough time and space. The future does not have to be an all-or-nothing choice. The most promising path lies in a smart combination of large networks of fully protected marine reserves, 30 to 50% of the ocean, strictly science-based and well-managed fishing in the remaining areas, responsible development of sustainable aquaculture, strong international cooperation against illegal fishing. The real question we face is not whether we should stop all fishing forever, but whether we have the wisdom, courage, and political will to change our relationship with the ocean before it's too late. The next 20 years will be decisive. They will determine whether we restore the oceans to health or lose them forever. The ocean doesn't need us. We need the ocean.